so carry it away.
Okay, good afternoon. Today is Wednesday, November 8th, and we will begin this meeting. It is 12:06 p.m. Rose, would you mind helping out with the roll call?
Of course, thank you. Commissioner Kariai? Commissioner or Co-Chair Washington? Co-Chair Toya?
Present.
Commissioner Lance? Commissioner Marks?
Here.
Commissioner Whitehat?
Here.
And Commissioner Yellowhair?
Conde.
Thank you. Commissioner Zavala? Okay.
And we can move on to the land acknowledgement. If anybody would like to volunteer, I would greatly appreciate it.
I can do it. This is Commissioner Yellowhair.
Thank you, Commissioner Yellowhair.
Okay. All right. The Flagstaff City Council humbly acknowledges the ancestral homelands of this area's indigenous nations and original stewards. These lands, still inhabited by native descendants, border mountains sacred to indigenous peoples. We honor them, their legacy, their traditions, and their continued contributions. We celebrate their past, present, and future generations who will forever know this place as home.
Asquili, thank you. And we can move on to item number 3, public comment. Is there anyone at this time for public comment?
Sean, are you going to go ahead and do a public comment? You're muted.
Thank you. If this is appropriate to fit in here, I am delighted to go. All right, thank you. My name is Sean Newell. I know a few of you, and thank you to Rose to, I just reached out a few minutes ago and she said, oh, please just come to the meeting and do a real quick announcement. So I'm working with the climate program, the city's climate program, on another proposal. I knew some of you from the climate resilience proposal that was funded by EPA. And this one is to the Fire Adapted Communities Learning Network. And so I'll be upfront about the request is whether the Indigenous Commission would like to be listed as a partner in this project. So I can tell you about the proposal, and then there's no formal requirements or no formal financial connection to the project. It's just a willingness to advise and share and engage the project as appropriate and as we have time for. So very briefly, the city has a HEPA filter distribution program to help people at risk in smoke events. And they've distributed over 155 filters over the course of the past 2 or 3 years. This proposal would expand that program to include educational outreach and communications elements, as well as pay for a few more filters to get some more out in the community. So the Fire Adapted Communities Network is very committed to equity, to collaboration, to community engagement, and the city's program has been doing a lot of that. And so they thought, well, this would be a natural partnership. So I can go into more detail if you'd like about the proposal and the deliverables and stuff, but I'll kind of pause there and see if that's sufficient.
Can I ask a question, Commissioner? Co-Chair?
Sure.
Thanks, sorry. Sean, I have a question because I've told people about the filters before, but then I realized that I wasn't clear on, are they just handing out filters to go into an existing machine, or is it an actual air purification component?
Good question. Previously, to date, it's been filters that are complete units. You plug in and they filter the air. They're made for 300 square foot rooms, so they're for large rooms. What this proposal does is it adds 50 more filters. It will buy 50 more filters for distribution, those same purifier units. replacement filters for the 155, for some of the 155 that have already been out there. If people need help replacing the filter elements, so that would be just the filter piece of it. And then there's also 100 do-it-yourself HEPA filter supplies that are purchased through the EPA grant, which is leveraging and matching this grant, which is essentially a box fan with the HEPA filter taped on. And then N95 masks to distribute to people from the CATS program for the unsheltered folks. So that's the package that we're producing, as well as workshops, outreach, and this communications plan to get the word out.
Thank you. And I honestly was able to participate with this with the NACA program, and I feel like it is a great program. We do have a lot of Indigenous relatives that live in the areas of fire, so that was a great use, and I thank you so much for that. We had many reach out to us for that assistance. Shauna?
Okay, and just remember that we can't really discuss, the commissioners can't discuss anything that's for public comment.
Commissioner Whitehat, did you still want to comment?
I guess I just had some follow-up questions, but Rose, if you could let me know whether or not this is the appropriate time. Just follow-up questions. Was there money set aside with the first go-round that allowed for outreach and education? And then with that, do you foresee, if there wasn't money set aside for that, do you foresee there being a higher need than just the 50?
I don't think we can discuss that. So
Okay.
if there's follow-up questions, we need to actually have it on the agenda. So I'm really
Okay.
sorry. But this is just for information only. It's just saying that there's and I'll follow up with all of you to see if the request is, it doesn't need a vote, but just to hear your thoughts on what going forward with this grant.
Well, I'll just close in thanking you for this opportunity to share this program. If for any reason you have concerns about, in your discussion about being part of the partnership, being listed as a partner, it's not a problem. It's easy to take the name off for now, and you can be a partner at any time, and you essentially are a partner anyway because you know about it. So it doesn't have to be formally listed if you choose not to. So I'll just keep in touch with Rose on that, and I really thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Sean. Appreciate your time.
Great. Thank you.
We can move forward to item number 4. There's no minutes at this time. We can move then to number 5, general business and a possible vote. A, Indigenous commissioners and terms. Staff liaison Rose Toy will provide information on commissioners who have terms ending December 1st, 2023. Discussion will be on decisions to reapply and on further recruitment.
Okay, so this is just to make you aware that as of December 1st, we're going to have some members that will be terming out, and this is where the term expires. So right now, we have our co-chair Washington is going to have his term end on December 1st, 2023, as well as Commissioner Whitehat, and then as well as Commissioner Yellowhair. So I asked Deputy City Clerk Stacy Fobar, and she said that all 3 of you can reapply if you would want. And I believe your next terms will be about 3 years. And so you're able to apply. The link to that is already live. So if you can, do you think you're going to reapply?
This is Joe Washington. Yes, I would be interested in reapplying.
Okay. Commissioner Yellow Hair and White Hat, what about you?
This is Commissioner Yellowhair. I don't think I will. Just because I know when talking with Mariah, there was a good field of people that applied and wanted to be a part of this as well, and I don't want to just sit here when, there could be some new fresh blood and new minds and opportunities for people, and so plus I'm still waiting for my check. Hey, just my first 3 years. Just kidding. So, but no, when I heard there's a lot of people applying and, people with interest, of course, too, I want to give them a chance as well because there's, of course, some phenomenal Indigenous people here in town. And so
Mhm.
I really like for someone else to get in here, and not just plug up this spot for another 3 years. But I would want to regardless otherwise, but, I want to
Mhm.
give them a chance to. So.
And Commissioner White Hat, are you okay to answer whether or not you're going to reapply?
Yeah, I think I'm kind of along the same lines where if there is high interest, then, well, I mean, I guess this is a follow-up question. If we reapplied, are we given priority or are we considered amongst the pool of other applicants?
You would be considered amongst the other applicants.
Okay.
But, I can't say that you're going to receive priority. But in your application, if you're very serious about it, just make sure that you put in a lot of, detailed information in the application so that the commissioners, not the commissioners, so that city council members who are up to reappoint will know about you. And that's what I've been telling people, whoever is interested, is to make sure that they not do just the basic information, but to really have a good several paragraphs on who they are, what they do, their how compassionate or passionate they are about the work. And so that really helps our council members to decide. We've the last year we had like 11 applicants. And so I think that, we have a really good pool and people are very interested. And so I sort of expect the same this time around. And we get all kinds of people, some who don't have a lot of experience to some people who have really good well-rounded experience. And so that's how people, and then a council also looks at variety as far as people from different nations. So those are some of the things that people look at. So I think this week there's a flyer that's going to be posted on our social media for applications, and that's going to our deadline. Excuse me. The deadline's going to be December 1st, and so please apply before then. And then there's going to be a few days that the city clerk will take to review and package everything. And then on December 19th is what we're shooting for, to have reappointments or appointed members. Okay. Do you have any other questions? So those are the ones I really wanted to let you know about.
I believe Councilmember Matthews had a comment in the chat, and she was asking if we had received applications.
Well, just comparing. Well, we haven't started really. I mean, the application link is live already. People can apply. Their advertising piece of it is going to go out this week with Sam, our internal outreach community engagement specialist. So, and then I'll be sending out flyers with a link on it to to my group of people that I usually send information out to. So I'll send some to you as well, and then you are welcome to send it to your circles so that we have a good application pool. As of now, usually Stacy doesn't tell me until we have applications coming in. And she said she needs at least 4 applications to go before city council.
Co-chair, may I ask another question?
Go ahead.
Thank you. Two things. I saw the flyer today. I posted it on my LinkedIn account just to start encouraging people, because I know people's busy lives and there's questions that they need to answer. So it is already out there. But the reason why I asked if there was applications, because I was just curious why it was said that we already had a lot of applications, because I was like, oh, I haven't heard. But okay, that kind of explains what's going on. And it is helpful for city council to read good details to see what the commitment is from applicants, whether they're new or have been on a commission. We like to see good diversity of thought and experience to really bring to the table of each commission and make it impactful. So definitely, if your heart's there, don't get dissuaded by however many applicants. We love seeing lots. It doesn't guarantee you a reappointment, but passion and experience does help for sure.
Thank you for the kind words, Councilmember Matthews. Also, I just noticed all this information about me is not correct except my address. So if I can update, I would like to update all that. Okay, thank you.
All right, that'll be good. This was from March 2023 was when this came out.
Okay. Sounds
Yeah.
good. All
Cool.
right.
All right. Are we ready for the next one?
Sure. Okay, moving on to item number 6, discussion items. A fair item on the use of Indigenous names for San Francisco Peaks. Councilmember Lori Matthews, Council Liaison, requested a fair item for the Indigenous Commission agenda. This is to discuss the potential utilization of local recognition of Indigenous names for the San Francisco Peaks and outreach and marketing materials for the city of Flagstaff and Flagstaff Chamber of Commerce. The intent is to have an understanding of what this concept could look like and to ascertain if there is an avenue to consider.
Councilmember Lori, can you go ahead and explain again what you've done and who you talked to and what the conversations were?
Yes, I've had several meetings proposing this concept, if you will, or request potentially. And I learned some things that I hadn't personally considered. And one was when I spoke to Heidi Hansen, who's oversees our economic vitality group, and they do a lot of the advertising for Flagstaff and just for tourists that are coming in. She cautioned me, if you will, that when they do reference anything about the peaks, they don't use the name Snow Bowl out of this is kind of respect for the concerns that our Native American communities have towards the use of the peaks now being, using reclaimed water and other things. But she said they do show pictures of people skiing and doing the cross country skiing and stuff. So she just wanted to stay sensitive to, do we really, is that something still acceptable? And then when we were at the economic vitality annual meeting, though, I did see that they do show a map of all the peaks, and that could be easily in my opinion, name to the native names as opposed to what we have called them in recent years. So I just wanted to bring it to this to a discussion here to make sure we are being sensitive and really understand where we want to go with this. If it is something that this commission wants to pursue, how we want that to look, and where we would want to see those name changes reverted back to native terms as opposed to the San Francisco Peaks or Agassiz or the other terms. So just wanted to open the conversation to make sure our ignorance is not making things worse instead of better. So that was really why, I've been asking around and pursuing it and trying to get an understanding of what our options are. I welcome anybody's comments or reactions and I will just put a side note in. Last night I did present a fair to request the Indigenous Peoples Day for the second Monday in October as an official city holiday. And our deputy city manager said, yes, we were talking about it, and I don't remember what group she was referring to. We were thinking about the day after Thanksgiving. And so I told her that this commission had already discussed that, and we felt that, and please correct me if I don't remember correctly, but we felt that the group did not want to associate Indigenous Peoples Day with a day of excessive spending and Black Friday and shopping and stuff. So I communicated that to her, but just reminded me and reconfirmed that ask a lot of questions and don't make any assumptions on what would be a great outcome. So that's where this conversation today is.
Well, Councilmember Matthews, I really do appreciate you for making those comments, and those are very important comments to us. And I feel like I want to let Commissioner Marks go ahead and make some comments right now.
So one, I appreciate it. Thank you. I think that there's several things that you brought forward. I think with the fair item that you have presented, there are a list of names that have been presented by youth in the past from different tribal communities. And of course, tribal communities and their elders have all continued to share and iterate what the specific names for the mountain have been for them and their communities. As far as the opportunity to have a day that recognizes Indigenous people, I think it was shared before, and I appreciate you recalling some of that information, that the association with Black Friday and spending and things like that following the day of mourning, which is referred to as Thanksgiving, is probably too close for comfort, right? So I think we need to keep pushing, or I would encourage that we continue to push to have a day of recognition that's aside and separate, even though that might cause some disruption with city business, that we continue to move forward in that direction to support a day that's separate and aside from Thanksgiving and Black Friday.
So Commissioner Marks, in my conversations with Commissioner Rose, my understanding was that this commission was looking at, and excuse me for lack of just better definition, replacing, which a lot of our country is already replacing, Columbus Day, the second Monday of October, as being Indigenous Peoples Day, but furthering that for the city of Flagstaff to make it an official holiday to where people are not working, that we celebrate it by focusing on the Indigenous Peoples Day and not just having it out there on the calendar and people still go to work. Is that correct? Is that?
That is correct.
Because it's going to come up on the agenda now pretty soon. So.
Mm-hmm. And we can specifically put that on the agenda right before, the fair is official. So just to bring you back to the discussion of today, and this is for the traditional names of the peaks is what we need to discuss right now. I think just to give you a little bit of information, I think in my mind, what is important to distinguish is the fact that if we are going to use traditional names of our Indigenous people of the peaks and of the mountain, whichever way it falls, that do we want, and this is going to be like marketing materials from the city itself, and so if that's going to be the case, do we as Indigenous people and representing our people in this Indigenous Commission, is it okay for us to associate those names on a written marketing material with skiing, even though a snowball is not mentioned on those materials, but there's pictures of skiing, there's picture of snow play, things like that. Are we willing to associate that in these marketing materials? Is really, I think, the question, that the way that I see it.
Commissioner Marks?
Thank you. I did want to, I guess, bring back something that was brought up earlier about the names of some of the peaks. We do know that one of the peaks has officially been renamed, and Commissioner Toya, maybe you can help me in pronouncing it correctly.
Omauki, House of the Clouds.
Thank you.
Daryl, when you say officially renamed, what can you explain?
So there was a meeting that had taken place with the Board on Geographic Names at the state level, and they approved the name change from Agassiz to Omauki.
Wow, that is awesome. Do you know where is that on their website or anywhere that says?
Should be. It was an official meeting, and we could always bring the youth that were a part of that meeting to present to the commission here, and discuss the work that they put into that, and also why and what it means, so that we can help share that information out to the public.
Could we do that? Invite them or make a motion to invite them, or?
Sure. I mean, that's really up to you guys. If you want to request, we can do that at the, like, under number 7 to do a fair item at a future point.
Sure, I would like to make a motion that we invite the youth in regards to the renaming of the peaks.
Are we on number 7?
Oh, no, I guess not.
Can I make or have a question or make
Sure.
a comment too? That's wonderful news, and I would love to see some of those participants, the youth, come and capture one of the 3-minute comment opportunities at City Council, just to make that publicly known, and share that. I think that's an exciting step in the right direction, and I think that it needs to be in a public forum to start getting that word out. Then what happens with that renaming as it trickles up the hill to Flagstaff, for our use, whether it's at the chamber or the city and stuff, that would take momentum for conversations. But I think the monumentous change and decision to rename it at a state level is a pretty big deal. So I would love for them to not even wait to get that on the agenda item. We've got 3 minutes, and if 10 people or more show up, they could have 15 minutes to really do a presentation in front of city council. I think that would be, I'd love to encourage that.
I feel like that correlates well with Native American Heritage Month also.
Yes, for sure. Try to do it this month.
Mm-hmm. Daryl, can you organize that then?
Yes, I can do that.
Great. Thank you, Commissioner Marks.
So coming back, or I guess Commissioner Whitehat.
Yeah, so kind of, I guess, Rose, to bring it back, this seems like a good opportunity then for bringing these different efforts together so that you do have strong support when you do present this to the city council. So I think Jean Toner was kind of the lead of the working group that has been working on the recognition of the Juneteenth holiday as well as Indigenous Peoples Day. I think on the timeline of things that are trying to get done to put that proposal forward, we're looking at what that process is in terms of getting state recognition for those two different holidays, as well as who else we, in terms of the county and the city, can support that proposal. To my understanding, that's where we are in that process with the working group for the recognition, the holiday recognitions. So I think it would be a good idea to touch base with Jean, just to get an update on where they're at. And then that does sound like a good opportunity. I was not aware of this name change either, and it seems like that's something that the entire city should know about. So it would be a good idea to go. So I think, like everyone has said, connect with them so that, yeah, you do have a strong support behind you when it comes to speaking about it. But I do think that following along with what Rose said, having that precaution in place where using Indigenous names for those places is a positive. It's a good education opportunity for those who are not familiar with those names, but keeping in mind that there are sensitive topics that maybe we don't want those affiliations of sacred names with certain places or activities or business types. I would recommend continuing that. I don't know if precaution is the right word, but I think it is a good teaching opportunity for everybody, but keeping in mind that there are probably certain associations or affiliations we want to keep wary of.
For sure. And I definitely don't want to take this conversation down a path that ends up being a negative, as opposed to trying to create something positive. And I wanted to have this discussion with the commission before I talk to the Chamber of Commerce, who has their own marketing or their own collateral material. And in my mind, I was thinking of just when you show a map of the mountains and they have the names on there currently, San Francisco Peaks, Agassiz, hopefully that'll be updated soon. That's one thing, but then how far, is the ask? So I don't want to, I guess what I'm wanting to say is I don't want to create trouble. I'm wanting to do something positive. So just looking for direction on what this commission would like to maybe not pursue it or pursue it with certain levels of caution, saying these are the restrictions. Yes, we'd like some renaming, but not in anything that markets skiing and use of the mountain, right? I'm seeing head nods, but finding opportunities to have the mountains, different peaks renamed when it is outside and separate from activities of skiing and stuff. Is that correct? Is that a good interpretation of the desires of the commission? Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Co-chair Washington, can we have a comment from you?
Yes, I agree in what people have said, and yeah, I think that's really good. I would like to see that um, um, presentation before the council, and I think that it should be publicized. I'm not sure that a lot of people know about it. I mean, we have heard a little bit about it, but I don't think that the general community has known about it. And I think it's something to celebrate the work that the youth have done and the accomplishment. So I would like to see that more publicized and more wider recognition of that.
And Commissioner Marks, if you are organizing this, if you feel you would desire the 15 minutes in order to really go into the process and the victory at hand, the 10 people that have to be in the audience just has to sign a card, and they don't have to all be the youth, just be people supporting that presentation. So depending on schedules and everything, you can have that 10-15 minute slot and just have people in the audience that are in agreement that they wanted more than 3 minutes is kind of in a nutshell how it goes. So I'd love to really put a big highlight, especially this month. Possible, I know we're already into it, but that would be super great.
Thank you, Councilmember Matthews, for your guidance and your opinions, and the support that you've given really means a lot to the commission. Are we all for moving forward to number 7?
And did you get the information that you needed, Councilmember? Okay, cool.
Okay, we can move forward to item number 7, informational items 2 from commission members, staff, and future agenda item requests. So I believe this is where I can make that motion that we have the youth come and do a presentation to the Indigenous Commission in regards to the name change of the San Francisco Peaks / Agassiz Peak. Okay, San Francisco.
This is Commissioner Whitehat. I second that motion.
All in favor,
Okay.
say aye.
Well, these are not things you vote on. It's just
Okay.
we just ask to have it on the future agenda.
Okay, great. Thank you, Rose.
Any others? So that will be awesome to hear. Oh, go ahead, Commissioner Marks.
There was also a request from some of the youth that had gone to the city council meeting last night, wanting to speak a little bit about the camping ordinance, and they had solicited some support from some of our unsheltered relatives. And I think that it'd be important for us to try to give them some time to speak about that, just so that they feel that the unsheltered community had support from a commission such as the Indigenous Commission to at least be heard. Is that something we can add to that as well?
Can I make a comment? Just as a caution, because their names were called. There was a couple who signed comment cards yesterday and then left before we got to them. But if they want to comment on that, absolutely, I encourage that. But just know they can't sign their own comment card and take 3 minutes and then be on the list of the 10 to cover the presentation. So I just wanted you to be aware of that. So maybe they could do it a different time, unless you have a good number of participants coming to be in the audience. It's an ongoing conversation. The no camping actions that have been taken, so they can clearly do it anytime they want, but if they wanted to do it that night, that the other presentation's happening, just make sure that they're not included in the 10 because they can't do both.
No, I understand. I think from what I was told, there were a number of unsheltered that were present at city council meeting last night, and they
Yes.
had a spokesperson that got to speak for them. But I think that there was some youth that came that also wanted to participate and give their own public comment, and just seeing if there's an opportunity to hear from them. That's what I was.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. And those were, at least 2 of them, comment cards were called up at the close of our council meeting, and they had already left for the day. So they can always come back and do it in the beginning or at the end. So thank you.
So just so for clarification, regarding the camping ordinance, you'd like to have a group of students present to the Indigenous Commission as well as do a public comment to City Council? Those are 2 different things?
I think what I'm asking is not necessarily students, but youth. That
Okay.
wanted to help support or carry forward the voice of unsheltered folks that had wanted to say something in the city council meeting, but just it's not something that they've done before, and so they're trying to support them by carrying that voice forward. So
it's not so much to do a presentation to the commission?
Probably not, but I can always find out.
Okay. All right. So I'll leave that off until I get clarification if they want to do a presentation to the commission. Okay. Got it. Anybody else regarding that? Okay. Okay, co-chair. Toya.
Okay, anything else? I believe maybe that's it.
Ooh, we're getting done early.
Yeah. So guess we can move on to the next item, number 8, which is adjournment for the day. Thank you, commissioners, for joining, and our guests and council member Matthews also, and thank you, Rose, for all you do.
Yes, thank you.
Welcome. And it's now 12:48.
Okay.
And thank you,
Thank
Fawn.
you.
Yes, thank you, council member or Commissioner
Yellow.
Yellow. Whoa,
Ooh,
calm down.
yeah.
Tone it down. Tone it down.
Don't put that on me.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm gonna stop recording. And Fawn, can you stay on a little bit?
I can.
Okay.